It's March, and I think of St. Patty's Day. I think of wanting spring to come up here to the middle of America, and I'm ready for some Irish tunes. And I thought this would be a good time to introduce you to my whole Irish whistle family. And I would probably start out with the granddaddy of the whistles. Now, you can get these made out of aluminum. You can get them made out of wood. This one is just kind of made out of PVC pipe kind of material, and it is a Susato, which is a very nice brand of very reliable Irish whistles. This is a low D Irish whistle, and on this one, I love the beauty of the low. For an example, I would make an Irish tune that is Aaron Boat Song. And that's in the key of D. The next size that I have up is an A. And this one was made right in Michigan. It's called a thin weasel. And it's PVC pipe with a wonderful tipple that makes it sound very woody, even though it's not made out of wood. This is in the key of A. And in this one, I would play a beautiful tune, something like this. And the Irish people, they called them tin whistles at the very beginning because they would grab whatever material was left over from their factories or whatever, or they called them penny whistles because they were not very expensive to make. And you can make them almost out of any material, but it's the tipple that makes the difference between the sound of a plastic one or a steel one or whatever the maker happens to do on this one. This is another thin weasel. This is a D whistle that is an octave higher than my low D whistle. And on this one, I love to play a jig in lieu of St. Patty's Day. And this is the jig of slurs. I'll just play a part of it and then I'll do a long one in the jig of slurs. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about vibrato. On these instruments, there's two types of vibrato, and that is what makes that sound go from a straight tune, and I can either use a finger vibrato, which many of the Celtic people do, or I can do a diaphragm vibrato as I would if I was singing or playing the saxophone or something like that, and that would be like this. So you can decide whether you want a straight tune or whether you want to put a vibrato. My littlest, one of my favorites too, is a high G whistle, which is made by the same thin weasel guy in Michigan. And on this one, I like to play Father O'Flynn. So whistles are wonderful. You can get them in many different keys. If you decide that you want, what do I start with? I always recommend that you start with the size that is in the key of D. But you can get them in any key. A lot of times people decide what group they're going to play with and what keys they like to play in before they decide what key they're in. But Irish whistles are wonderful. You can get such wonderful, passionate sounds out of them. And it just kind of makes you realize that the Irish people are they just have been so wonderful at bringing us tunes and songs that are just coming right from their hearts. So happy St. Patty's Day.